broadcasting to viewers in Liberia and across the globe. Hello and welcome to News Today on KMTV. My name is Anthony Kukui. Wherever you're watching us from, we say thanks for joining our news broadcast tonight. Let's take a look at stories making headlines. Pro-democratic group criticizes government salary harmonization, says its application is untimely. Public Works Minister Mabudu Yimpan says government is negotiating with Japanese partners for the full pavement of the road between the Gibraltar Bridge and the St. Paul River Bridge on Bujo Island. Welcome to KMTV News. Liberia's ambassador to the United Nations has underscored the need for more attention to be given to the country's judicial system in the UN country program document. Ambassador D. Maswe Kemia said Liberia looks forward to the United Nations country program meeting review to include such court. The Liberia's permanent representative to the UN noted that the quest, if considered by the UN Parliament, would give rise to a transformative judicial system and enhance an enabling economic environment for Liberians.
As the access to justice and the upholding of the rule of law remain among top priorities of His Excellency President Weah, the government and people of the Republic of Liberia continue support to the justice system of Liberia with a focus on Liberia's judiciary will be highly appreciated for inclusion in this country program document for Liberia. We look forward to the midterm review of the country program document, where possible adjustments could be made to reflect current realities in view of specific strides the government of Liberia and partners will make to consolidate hope for the people of Liberia and sustain an enabling society to enhance economic growth and development. In view of the aforementioned recommendations and pursuant to the contents of the country program document presented, we hereby endorse and support the approval of the country program document for Liberia by the UNDP Executive Board.
A pro-democratic group under the banner Progressive Alliance for the Promotion of the Purple Agenda has criticized the application of government salary harmonization scheme, stating that the process is increasing the hardship on the people. In an exclusive interview with KMTV News, the chairperson of the democratic group, Herman Johnson, said the cutting of government's employee salaries by 60% without legislative approval in a challenged economy is unbearable and that's unacceptable. He cautioned Minister Twe to be earnest in executing the harmonization scheme, which according to him should rather take effect on a gradual basis to enable citizens to get adjusted.
The program of the harmonization was a very good concept, but what has come to the realization since the effect of the harmonization, it has taken another turn, is creating more difficulty for the people. So in my opinion, I'm strongly of the conviction that the team needs to revisit the strategy and methodology used in deriving the harmonization. The bottom line of harmonization will eventually lead to what we call the downsides of salary and the upsides of salary. But I think the paramount concern of this government should be the upsides of salary, because if you reduce the purchasing power of an individual, you create a condition where the level of economic viability that he ought to have, he wouldn't. So I think, in my opinion, that Minister Twe didn't take into consideration the economic condition of our country currently to have proposed the harmonization program. I thought, in my opinion, that the harmonization program would have been what we call a rollover program, a program that should have not been done what we call at a one-shot stop deal. With what we are experiencing, with the data that we have gathered, the harmonization has sliced salary as high as 60%. That is unbearable. That is unbelievable. That is unacceptable. We cannot, in these tough economic times, wanting to harmonize a salary as high as 60%.
The minister told reporters on Capitol Hill that the harmonization process has not started.
With all due respect to our minister, I think that's the theoretical aspect that he presented to the legislature. The practicality of it is that I equally work with government. Indeed, for the fiscal period under question, the pay has been what we call harmonized. Harmonized to the point where it affects me. He needs now to be sincere about how he goes about this harmonization, because going to the legislature or going to the public or going to the media and giving what we call a different scenario as to what happens in actuality is a serious concern.
Herman Johnson at the same time branded Information Minister Len Eugene Nangbe as a sleeping giant that needs to wake up. He said the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism is doing absolutely nothing to inform the public on the activities of government. Mr. Johnson said the lack of proper information dissemination is immensely contributing to the negative perception in the public about government.
I think Minister Eugene Nangbe is a bit at bed. He needs to wake up. He's asleep.
What's happening?
He's asleep. Like one of the former information ministers said during his confirmation hearing, Minister Louis Brown, a dead sleeping giant. I want to classify Minister Nangbe as a sleeping giant. He needs to wake up.
Why do you say so?
Our information arm of government is doing absolutely nothing to inform the public on the activities of our government, which is wrong. The many perception within the quarters of our people is as a result of the Ministry of Information and the arm that is responsible to educate the public on day-to-day activity of our government has done absolutely nothing for the past 6-7 months, which of course is bad for the country and it is bad for the government like ours. The people need to understand what the government is doing. There are a lot of positive initiatives that the government is doing. Our president has just returned from the TCAT summit. As of the day the president arrived till date, the Ministry of Information has said absolutely nothing. And if they have said, the public has not grasped any positive outcome. To the extent other guys within the opposing force are now asking the question, what benefit did the president bring? There are a lot of positive outcomes that have come out of that TCAT summit. But the Ministry of Information has not gathered the information to have it disseminated to our people. And that is wrong. Even with the harmonization program, it is only the Ministry of Finance that will speak to the harmonization. You do not have a clear-cut information coming from the Ministry of Information concerning this entire harmonization program. So Minister Nangbe needs to wake up. He needs to wake up.
Liberia's Crusader for Peace Executive Director is calling on parents to take full advantage of the measles vaccination process for their children's health. The call by Ambassador to India, according to Hall, is based on the contagiousness of the disease that causes loss of lives. Speaking at the launch of the immunization in Bomi County, the LCP head said investment in the health sector is vital and there is a need for increasing budgetary allocation to health services.
Given the economic challenges facing our country, you will no doubt agree with me that investment in our health sector must at all times remain the prime focus in all our national endeavors. Measles is highly contagious, serious disease caused by the virus. Before the introduction of measles vaccine in 1963, a widespread vaccination major epidemic occurred approximately every 2 to 3 years, and measles caused an estimated 2.6 million deaths each year. Measles vaccination now have resulted in an 80% drop in measles deaths between 2000 and 2017. In 2017, 85% of the world's children received 1 dose of measles vaccine by their first birthday through routine health services. During 2000 to 2017, measles vaccination prevented an estimated 21.1 million deaths, making measles vaccine one of the best buys in public health. It is no mistake on the part of the Ministry of Health to have chosen Bomi County outside Monrovia for this launch. as a demonstration of its nationwide outreach campaign of health for all, regardless of location. Vaccination or immunization is very important, especially to the mothers and the fathers. Let us take our children to the nearest health facility or vaccine center for a healthy life. We therefore want to call on parents, particularly mothers, to take full advantage of this immunization exercise and bring forth their children to be vaccinated. I want to call on the national government for the increasing budgetary support and allocation for the health sector of Liberia, in line with the much cherished commitment to universal health care for all, not tomorrow, but now.
Meanwhile, one of the immunization officers told reporters that Liberia is at 91% beneficial to the process. According to Dr. Sulemani Abdullahi, the vaccination is rotational with a target of 95% coverage in the country. The measles immunization officer added that the program seeks to eradicate the outbreak of the disease across Liberia and other countries.
Liberia, according to the global estimate for World Health Organization and UNICEF, has recorded 91% coverage with the measles first dose, so it's eligible to come up with the second dose so that we will have a coverage of at least 95% for us to be able to achieve the elimination goal.
So what is the benefit of this measles dose?
Oh yes, it is very beneficial because with those that take the first dose, sometimes there are about 15% of them that may not serocombat and be protected. So those groups that are coming up and building up because they have already taken the vaccines, and those that have missed the opportunity to be vaccinated will have the opportunity to be vaccinated. And those who have taken the first dose will also have a second opportunity, so that when we have a coverage of 95% in both measles first dose and second dose, our immunity for the children to be protected from measles will be very high, and then we will not have outbreaks of measles, and children will be protected from dying and diseases. No, this will be in the routine system. So any child from this morning today till only God knows when we eliminated measles, which is the target 2020, we will be giving measles along with other routine antigens for other vaccines in the normal way. So mothers should be able to take their children to the routine immunization and they will get the second dose of measles. Yeah, the routine immunization has a system of reaching the heart rate, which is called outreach. Under outreach is to organize and to give vaccinators facilities, logistics to enable them reach the most difficult places. And is either done weekly or 2 weekly or a monthly, depending on the distance and the arrangement in the county and the communities that will access those services.
To this development now, the government of Liberia says it is negotiating with its developing partners for the full pavement of the road between the Gabriel Tucker Bridge and the St. Paul River Bridge on Bushra Island. According to Public Works Minister Mambudu Yimpan, the ministry has begun rehabilitation works on damaged roads in central Monrovia and parts adjacent. The Public Works Minister made the disclosure when he appeared before the plenary of the House of Representatives on Tuesday.
With respect to the situation of the bad roads in Monrovia and its environs, especially the Bushra Island, that is from bridge to bridge, from Gabriel Tucker Bridge to St. Paul Bridge, the Congo Town Back Road, the Jalatan Road, UN Drive, Mama Point around the EU head offices, Carwell, so many places around. With respect to the Bushra Island Road, during the recent TCAT meeting in Tokyo, a submission was made by government, through His Excellency the President, to the Japanese government to help us with the full-scale reconstruction of this road from Gabriel Tucker Bridge to the St. Paul Bridge. From indications, this request will land on fertile grounds. But while we are awaiting the reconstruction, the ministry itself has initiated a series of actions And if you live across on that road, you will notice that since Saturday, we have been engaged every night trying to patch those areas that are damaged. Same is the situation with Jalatown. If you live in a community, you will notice that as recent as last night, the area that is damaged around the back roof in the university coming down the hill, that was resolved last night. The Congo Town back road is also another challenge. So gradually we are on the move. We will be sensitive and responsive, at least, so that while we are waiting for full-scale reconstruction, we can have the roads being passable.
Well, it's now time that we'll bring you a sports news on news today. Let's begin with goalkeeper Ashley Williams, who saved a crucial penalty in Liberia's recent 1-0 defeat against Sierra Leone that saw them progress to the second phase of the ongoing FIFA 2022 World Cup qualifiers in Sierra Leone. Goalkeeper Ashley Williams, 18 of Lace Galaxy, was presented a check of $500 United States by Joe's travel agency for his brilliant save during the Sierra Leone vs Liberia match at the Siaka Steven Stadium in Freetown, Sierra Leone. And in the development, Liberia's right back Joel Johnson has suffered a break in his second metatarsal on his left leg during the second leg. That's the second leg of Liberia for the Sierra Leone match at the National Stadium in Sierra Leone. Joel is expected to be out of action for the next 10 weeks, and posted on his official Instagram page. Well, Liberia are now awaiting the draw where they will be. That's to get to know their opponents in the upcoming group stages of the ongoing FIFA World Cup qualifier. If Liberia ought to qualify for the FIFA World Cup, they must finish as group winners in the group and later defeat one of the 10 winners of one of those groups to progress to the FIFA 2022 World Cup that will be here in Qatar. Up next is Liberia vs Botswana, that is expected to take place in October. Well, those were the latest from our news center, but before we go, a recap of the headlines. Pro-democratic group criticizes government salary harmonization, says its application is untimely. Public Works Minister Mabudu Yimpan says government is lobbying with Japanese partners for the full pavement of the road between the Gabriel Tucker Bridge to Simport Bridge on Bourgeois Island. We say many thanks to you for always joining our news broadcast from across the globe. On behalf of the entire news team here, my name is Anthony Kuko. You can also visit our website at www.kmtvliberia.com for more news and information. Until then, good night.